Supreme Court denied Ross's petition, which is a big disappointment, devastating really, not only for him personally, because it ends his ability to directly appeal the courts, but for all of us, because there were some very, very important issues that were being presented to the court to address, one of which is, does the government not abide by the Fourth Amendment when it delves into all of our internet browsing history and habits and records without a warrant, oversight, in secret, with no restraint, which they can now do, and which we were saying to the Supreme Court, wait a second, this is a Fourth Amendment problem, and they chose not to address it. So it really impacts us all, but at the same time, it does end Ross's direct appeal ability. So you can't go higher than the Supreme Court. So now we're out of the judicial and into the political. And so that is, hence we're having this petition at freeross.org/petition to get enough signatures to say to the president, please take a look at this case and at this horrible sentence of double life without parole plus 40 years for all nonviolent charges, first-time offender, no victims were named, never charged with harming anybody, never mind killing anybody. There was none of that. Double life without parole. Enough signatures, people saying this sentence is wrong. It will not only help Ross if he commutes his sentence, of course, but it will help push back this precedent of excessive sentencing in our system, which is putting so many people who are not violent, who are not a threat to anybody, in cages for their lives.
Right. And what's the likelihood of him commuting his sentence? I mean, like, if you got the petition with 500,000 or how many ever signatures, is there any guarantee that yes, they will in fact look at it, or is that still sort of like a toss-up? Like, if you get it, at least it gives you a chance to have him look at it.
Yeah, there is no guarantee.
Okay.
However, there is, I think, it's a tool. It's a tool for people who believe in the petition and what we're saying, who maybe can have the ear of the president to say, look, I'm representing 500,000 people here. I think that it'll be a very powerful tool. It takes a couple of minutes, not even, of your time, right? To just sign the petition, spread it around, share it, get other people, as we were discussing, you know, really to say to people, look into this and sign. Just read this one page and you'll want to sign it.
Right.
And not only for Ross, but for so many people who are over-sentenced in this country. This is not in tune with the values that this country was founded on.
Right.
It's a very un-American trend we're having in the criminal justice system.
Fanbase is a blockchain project that seeks to change the way we all interact with our favorite media. The security token offering is scheduled for the end of September. Fanbase is also an 8,000 square foot media production facility and cryptocurrency hub in Philadelphia.
It's not really about Ross and his particular situation. This is more about Fourth Amendment. This is more about almost every citizen that's out there. And we really need to look at this. Giving someone double life without parole for something like that, have there been any other cases where someone's got double life without parole, and what was the condition?
I do know that before the drug war, the criminal justice system stayed at a pretty much steady 180,000 criminals or convicts or inmates.
Yep.
And now it's metastasized 800%. Life sentences have quintupled since the drug war. It's like they're on steroids about putting people into cages now. It's just become this horrible monster, which is creating mass incarceration, making the United States the biggest incarcerator on the planet, more than any other country.
Wow.
Putting more of our people in prison than any country. This is, you know, it's just like when I was growing up, to get a life sentence, you had to be a mass murdering maniac.
Right.
Violent, you can get life. In fact, half the people didn't even go to prison. They did a non-prison restitution.
Right.
It's just, it's really been a terrible trend, and it's, like I say, a very un-American trend, and it's expanding government power, and of course they're making tons of money at the taxpayers' expense and destroying lives. And no, it has not solved the drug problem one iota.
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't stopped people using drugs.
So for those people that might be somewhat familiar with this case, who might think that, Ross was involved and yada, 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 what could we possibly say to them to get them to understand that they can still help Ross out without necessarily agreeing with sort of what happened?
Right, and look, I'm not defending Silk Road, and many things are on Silk Road. I'm not, hey, look, I'm not.
In Philadelphia, the Mears Institute for Design, Technology, and Media Literacy is located at the Crypto Hub, as is Franklin Venture Capital. These institutions work in conjunction to accept students or blockchain startups and to help them accelerate their growth. Check out themearsinstitute.com and franklinventurecapital.com for more details.
This sentence is barbaric. It's completely unnecessary. It's not like Ross is going to come out and be a danger to anyone or start another website. And, he was a 26-year-old, very passionate about freedom and monetary independence and freedom, Bitcoin, and privacy. That was his whole motivation. It was not to harm anyone. It was not about drugs, really, at all. And so it's like, really? He needs a double life sentence at the taxpayer's expense of about $2 million per inmate. The most expensive evil hotel in the world, I'll tell you. It's very, very expensive to keep people in there. And so really think about this sentence. That's all we're asking. We're not saying pardon even. We're not saying, oh, it's all fine. We're saying this sentence, look, the judge could have given him, originally the mandatory minimum for his charges was 10 years. Then they added the kingpin charge because Ross wouldn't cooperate and plead guilty. So they threw that on there as a threat, basically. So now his minimum was 20 years. Okay, 20 years, that's a lot. That's a generation. But at least he'd have his life from when he was 50 on. You think he's going to get out in 20 years and start another? He won't have been on the internet in 20 years. That wasn't enough for this judge. 30's not enough, 40's not enough. He had to be leaving as a corpse. This is not justice and how it should be in the United States.
And so if they commuted his sentence, what does that mean?
Well, it could mean it's time served and he walks out. It could mean that it's happened before where they just say, well, 10 years or even 20 years, mandatory minimum or whatever. Anything would be better.
Right.
And look, people change, they mature.
That's right.
They, even violent people change and mature, but someone who's nonviolent, who, that's a kid with an idea, to think that he wouldn't mature and, after, 5 years even now, it's just like, really? So we have to have revenge, is that it? For what? So
okay.
Nobody was forced to do anything.
Right. So again, the easiest thing people can do is go to freeross.org/petition, and what do we have to do?
Or even just,
sign their name and push a button?
Basically, there's some information they want, and I know you got to give some information, but it's not hard, it's easy. And even if you just go to freeross.org, there's a big red banner you can click. It's easy.
Okay.
It's all online. And just sign. We're closing in on 70,000 signers right now, and in less than 6 weeks. So we've got a good momentum, and we need to keep going.
We are the stewards of the crypto revolution, and it will be televised. We at Moonshot are the objective cryptocurrency authority. In conclusion, Earthlings, I'm Professor Mears, and this is Moonshot. Remember, we want to hear from you. What kind of crypto news content do you want covered? Please comment below. Make sure to visit our website, moonshotworldnews.com, and our app, Moonshot News, for 24-hour content, including a live feed of crypto market data updated in real time. We're on Facebook at Moonshot World News and on Instagram at Moonshot World News. If you are interested in web series production, expand the description below for a list of production equipment. We'll be back next week for more on the latest changes in the cryptocurrency sphere, and we'll take a deeper look into how crypto is affecting economics, culture, politics, and society at large. Come gaze into the telescope with us. This is your world.